Welcome to the lockdown, and welcome to Amsterdam's infamous red light district, a neighbourhood that's been serving the sexual needs and desires of the international community since the 15th century.
Amsterdam, let's get hedonistic. Shite guys hanging in the red light district. Lockdown, looking for a little bit of mischief. Everything is closed just in case that you missed it.
These streets bear centuries of memories of bygone sailors bearing spices, businessmen bearing cocaine, and English stag parties bearing their cocks on the street.
The red light district, known to locals as the Wallen, first got its salacious reputation back when Amsterdam was one of the biggest ports on earth, at the centre of world commerce. The sailors and merchants would import goods from the Far East, such as spices and textiles, and then export diseases such as sticky Mickey and Rubik's pubes, leading to the phrase, "What happens in Amsterdam infects your wife."
But this is the red light district like you've never seen it before. Fucking ghost town, boy.
Went to the cock up, my Mickey was ticklish. She asked me if I ever had chlamydia or syphilis. I said, I'll tell you what, I tell my wife and my mistress. My STIs are none of your business.
It's Friday afternoon in the centre of the Wallen, and yet salads go untossed, cherries go unpopped, and bananas are inserted into people's mouths instead, as food, as the 300 or so windows in the neighbourhood remain shut.
They stick their bananas in V-A-G-I-N-A, yes, they stick their bananas in V-A-G-I-N-A, yes.
Oh my god, Jerry, your man looking at us.
The fuck you looking at?
Meanwhile, wanking levels are at historic highs, with increases of 84% being reported by disgusted housemates. This sudden upsurge in demand has led to a mass panic, a mass wank panic.
Hey Blondie, how's it going?
Quit the messing. I'm only after building that.
What are you going to do about it?
You're going to have to pay for that.
You're very brave to be harassing young women.
I know we're looking at a sticky situation, but lads, if you're hoarding toilet paper, you're a serious wanker. These days, everybody in the Wallen is keeping a safe 2-meter distance from each other to avoid being wanked on. Yeah, dark days. Dark days indeed.
Her name is Corona, she blowing up my phone. I saw the whole thing unfold on my old Motorola. She went to Verona, then cheeky road trip down to Roma, then back to Bologna, the slopes and the snow. Oh yeah, then she said hola, had a sick weekend up in Barcelona. Went to Iran, had a chat with the Grand Ayatollah. The Yanks wouldn't let her on a plane to Oklahoma. So she's home and she's grand, she sneezed in my sandwich, she's holding my hand. We're closer than close, I wanna give her a hug quick. I rang work this morning and called in love sick. She's a big deal everywhere she goes. All she gotta do is blow a nose to get the road closed. She's a well-traveled girl by now, been halfway around the world by now. What a whirlwind, wow. Corona, Corona, I got a funny feeling that I'm gonna get to know ya. Oh my Corona, Corona, she said come on over, I'm home all alone now. Oh my Corona, Corona, I got a funny feeling that I'm gonna get to know ya. Oh my Corona, Corona, oh Corona, Corona.
I actually used to work at the fake Irish pub behind us here, so naturally I had to suck a lot of dick. I mean duck a lot of sick. There were people throwing up everywhere. You see a lot of weird shit on this street. A lot of, let's say, rugged occurrences. But I think the most distressing thing I ever seen around here was one day when word filtered back to us that some old fella had died while availing of the services a couple of windows down. When the police and paramedics arrived and ran into the windows, a giant, surging mass of tourists arrived with their cameras out trying to get a snap of the medical emergency. And the entire street was completely impassable. It was fucking sickening, man. In the end, the police had to draw their batons, and it took them over 15 minutes to get the body through the crowd and into the fucking ambulance. Jesus Christ, like. Even this one single example of fuckery brings up a lot of questions that have haunted me ever since. Like, what did they tell the grandchildren happened to their granddad? And how awkward can a funeral be? Also, does rigor mortis set in before the erection subsided? And like, what about the working lady? I mean, did her prices go up or down? I mean, like, on one hand, a man died mid-ride, so there's like a health and safety thing, I guess. But on the other hand, she literally fucked a man to death. So, I don't know. If you were to line up and measure the collective length of every penis that's ever been serviced in these little alleyways, then you'd have to admit you've got a problem. That's a serious problem. That is not a regular fetish. Destroy your hard drive and seek help. There's a wedding happening over there. How weird. How cool. Trompetersteg is officially the skinniest street in all of Amsterdam, and usually it's so packed full of tourists that like walking down it is more akin to being squeezed through a human toothpaste tube full of angry boners. This is a responsible show, so I'm only going to walk down it if no one else is there. Forgetting the whole corona thing, I'd say these walls are probably caked in centuries of exotic viruses from the deepest, darkest recesses of humanity. Well, I can taste it.
It's the skinniest street in the city. Floor's a little slippy and the air's a little sticky. How many Mickeys have lost their virginity here down through the years? In the skinniest street in the city, a million stinky simpletons commit a million different sins, indifferent to the women in the windows that they're visiting here. Yeah.
Oh my. Only fucking fell in the city working. Godspeed to you. So there's 25,000 women out of work, sex workers, since the red light district closed. And I'm out of work myself. All the barmen are out of work. I should be pulling pints and they should be pulling Mickeys. I think it's time we all pull together. Yeah, fucking everywhere is closed, boy. Oh, what's this? Oh, stole the ball. Sorted. But even when the pandemic subsides and the world opens back up for business, many of these windows in Wallen will possibly never open again. For the last couple of years now, the city's been closing a lot of the windows and bringing in a lot of new restrictions. And the new mayor is considering moving the brothels and sex clubs out of the neighbourhood completely and into a more discreet location somewhere else in the city, which could possibly end a centuries-old legacy in this neighbourhood. The truth is, the locals here have been driven to the absolute brink. Residents are blocked at every turn, going about their daily lives by drunken stag parties, stoned cyclists, and horned-up mushroom-gobbling space invaders. Not to mention the never-ending conveyor belt of bastards who treat Amsterdam as a Disneyland for cunts.
Stop being a prick to the women in the window. Stop being a prick to the women in the window. Stop being a prick to the women in the window. Stop being a prick in general.
You wouldn't want strange men outside your grandmother's house masturbating, neither do the residents of the red light district. When the windows eventually open up for business again, have a bit of decency and respect the sex workers. Like, look at this cheeky boy up here, dirty old man in his trench coat. I'm watching you, boy. I guess the residents finally got their wish. A tourist-free neighbourhood.
Her aroma goes straight to my soul and left me with a hangover close to a coma. Locked in a zone while a story unfolds and they tell me that everything is under control. Everything's under control. Everything's under control. Everything's under control. Everything's under control. I just hit the east side of my city on a mission trying to find me a quarantine. Oh, she makes me hotter than a pot of tea.
I heard she's only 19.
Well, don't mind me.
I heard she's into older men.
Maybe I have a chance to ask for a dance or a dalliance with my pants around my ankles in the back of an ambulance. Jesus Christ, Corona, what are you doing to me?
Corona, Corona.
I got a funny feeling that I'm gonna get to know ya.
Oh my, Corona, Corona.
She said, come on over, I'm home all alone now.
Oh my, Corona, Corona.
I got a funny feeling that I'm gonna get to know ya.
Oh my, Corona, Corona.
Oh, Corona, Corona.
You're very brave to be harassing young women.